and most dishonest thing that Kamala Harris has done, and it is a long list, my friends, is that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. It's actually sad. Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un, all these dictators, they have been sitting in private rooms for 3.5 years, licking their chops because we have a president who can't actually do the job. Now, anyone who's too blind to see Biden's incompetence or too dishonest to admit it is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief. She lied to us. She lied to all of us, and it's unacceptable.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you guys, I personally believe that the mainstream liberal media would be committing journalistic malpractice if they did not ask Kamala Harris if she knew about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. And if she did know about it, why did she not speak out about it? Because either she is massively incompetent, she lacks good judgment, okay, if she didn't know, which is probably true that she's incompetent and she lacks judgment, but that doesn't mean that she didn't know. Or she is corrupt. This is probably more likely. Okay, she did know, and she just hid it for her own personal gain. Okay, because Democrats did not want to tell the truth about how the president of the United States was not mentally fit for office. Okay, until they actually had to admit to the world that Biden was falling apart, when it became apparent on the debate stage against Trump. Now, the reason why I say that the mainstream liberal media should ask Democrats about this is because the vast majority of Americans believe that the Democrat Party was involved. And when you hear these Democrats try to explain how is it that you knew about Joe Biden's mental condition, but at the same time you stood behind him, it really does not sound too good. Take a look.
You had been a very strong supporter of Joe Biden staying in the race just a few days after that disastrous debate, saying he is not going to take himself out of the race, nor should he. Did your concerns grow as the weeks went on?
Well, you know, I had private conversations with the president, and I'm a big believer that when you care about somebody, you tell them the truth. And I had private conversations where I was telling the president the truth. I also know that the president deserved better than people running around and going into public and demanding that the president of the United States step down, particularly when you look at the track record of the Biden-Harris administration. I've had a phenomenal partner in the Biden-Harris administration to be able to deliver the kind of results that we needed in Maryland. And so I knew that if he said that he was going to continue pushing forward, that I was going to stand with him.
But you said you told him the truth. What was the truth?
Well, I think the truth that there were real concerns. There were real concerns that I know that people had felt, but also that people were telling me that they had felt. I also know that, I'm a loyalty person. And I believe that you can have proper conversations and tell people the truth and be able to tell them what you're hearing without also then turning around and publicly then trying to embarrass them.
Okay, Governor.
Yeah, so what you guys just saw there was Democrat Governor Wes Moore from Maryland go on national television and say, yeah, I knew the truth about Joe Biden, and I told him the truth. Like, I knew that he was cognitively declining, but yet I came out and told the American people a lie. Right? I insisted that Joe Biden stay in the race, even though I knew that he wasn't cognitively fit to serve. Like, I knew the truth, which is that Joe Biden's not fit, which is why he got replaced. This is why Democrats staged a coup against Joe Biden, because the world found out that Joe Biden was mentally declining and they could not gaslight the American people anymore on just a basic fact about Joe Biden's condition. Again, that Democrat governor out loud is telling you, yeah, I just lied to the American people. And I'm not entirely sure how, as a voter, you could turn around and vote for somebody who admits that, yeah, I will blatantly lie to people's faces if it fits my political agenda, right? If it benefits the Democrat Party, I will lie to people about the condition of the commander-in-chief. Yes, I know he should not be in the Oval Office, but hey, as long as it puts the party before the country, I'm cool with it, right? This is essentially what this governor is admitting out loud on national television. And this is why I believe that the mainstream liberal media should ask Kamala this question. And it would be journalistic malpractice not to ask Kamala this question. In fact, we should go even further than that. We should actually be asking a lot of these people who are out here trying to tell people to vote for Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris is so great. these are the same people that were supporting Biden, telling us that it was a right-wing conspiracy that Joe Biden is cognitively declining. And I think that the American people can clearly see that a lot of these individuals, whether they be Democrats or paid influencers, like, for example, Harry Sisson, right, who is a Gen Z Biden supporter, right? Again, paid influencer. These guys just lack credibility, right? I think that somebody's credibility can be judged a lot by how they answer the question of defending Biden's cognitive impairment. And when Piers Morgan confronted Harry Sisson on defending Joe Biden, this guy doubles and triples down on the idea that Joe Biden is still cognitively fit for office and that he didn't see any signs that Joe Biden should step down.
The former professional wrestler and Fox News contributor Tyrus and TikTok influencer Harry Sisson. Well, welcome to both of you. Harry, I want to start by playing a little clip of you last time you appeared on my show. Who do you think the two nominees will be in the end, and who will win?
Yeah, it's going to be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, and then Joe Biden's going to win. And Pierce, I'd love to chat with you after the election.
You've made a few dollars, Harry, so why don't we have a little wager? $10,000 to a charity of your choice. I say Biden can't possibly win. You think he can?
I personally don't bet on politics. I'm happy to have another bet to do something with charity. We can do something, absolutely no problem.
But you wouldn't put your money where your mouth is on Biden then?
I don't bet on politics.
Well, I saved you $10,000 there, Harry, with your refusal to accept the bet, obviously. Welcome to back to Uncensored. I mean, you were completely wrong. Not only did Biden not stay in the race, but he certainly won't be president again. So do you accept you were completely wrong?
Yeah, I think I was going based off of publicly available information. All of the information available was that Joe Biden was staying in. He consistently told reporters he was staying in. He said, I'm the guy. And then he huddled with advisors in Delaware, saw the data, said it wasn't looking good, and made the honorable decision to bow out.
But with respect, why would a young, dynamic guy like you, how old are you?
21.
You're 21, so you're 60 years younger than Joe Biden.
That's right.
Right, it was blatantly obvious to everybody that Biden was done, especially after the debate. Why would you continue to pretend that he wasn't?
Because I look at the record, I'm always of the view that achievements and policy matters more than like this talk we have in the media of, oh, Biden's this, oh, Biden's that. I've met the man as well. I've talked to him. He was fantastic. He was sharp. I had questions.
When was that?
That was in May.
He was sharp?
Yeah.
How sharp?
Very sharp. He answered
around that time he was
full.
falling off stages, he was face planting, he was tumbling
face planting. I mean,
tumbling down the steps of Air Force One, falling off bicycles. He was saying all sorts of gobbledygook in statements which the White House had to rewind. So how sharp was he?
I mean, he was great. I gave him questions he didn't have beforehand. He answered them in depth, and we had a conversation after the cameras were turned off. I had no problems then. I had no problems now. I still think Joe Biden is fit to serve. If he were the candidate, I'd still think he's fit to serve.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I think that there was obviously concern among party elites, you might call them. I don't know if that's the word.
But well, there was a concern. There was a poll came out on Sunday morning saying he was 7 points down in Michigan.
Right.
As Frank Luntz said, one of the three crucial swing states. And at that point, bang, the rope was pulled, right?
But it's also it was also his decision. He could have stayed in the race and said, like, I'm the nominee. I got the votes. I won the primary. I'm going to get the delegates. I'm going to be the nominee. But he looked at the data and made the honorable decision, said, no, I'm not going to.
But is he that honorable to do it now? I mean,
That sounds great, but let's be honest. Nancy Pelosi walked in and said, we can do it.
The easy way or the hard way?
The hard way was Article 25.
Yeah, so to answer Piers Morgan's questions about how Harry Sisson could not recognize that Joe Biden was cognitively declining, well, the answer to that question is because he's paid not to, right? He's literally paid to lie to you, right? And that is why this guy has no credibility whatsoever. And that is what really kind of annoys me about the fact that Piers continues to bring this guy on his show. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty entertaining to dunk on Harry Sisson, but he's a 21-year-old that doesn't know anything at all, right? He's literally just paid to say whatever from Democrats and to just defend Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even though he does not know what he's talking about. And proof and evidence of him not knowing what he's talking about is that later on in the conversation, they were talking about Kamala Harris. And of course, this guy, he, takes the Joe Biden chip out of his brain and puts the Kamala Harris chip in his brain, right? A new set of talking points. But it seems like these talking points that he downloaded into his brain are not complete because they seem to conveniently leave out some of Kamala Harris's radical record in which she did, in fact, support Medicare for all, But yet Harry Sisson claims that she never supported that, even though we have documented evidence of her supporting that policy.
You know, Harry, my mother, who's just turned 80, very youthful, glamorous 80, I might add, but she messaged me yesterday saying, what do you think of Kamala Harris? She seems to have added a lot of energy to this race, which I thought was a really interesting observation. Whether you like her, don't like her, agree with her, don't agree with her, there's unbelievable amount of new energy in this Democrat side of the race because she is 20 years younger than Biden, obviously on her game. She's smart, she's presentable, she's good on TV, she's galvanizing people, the money's pouring in and so on. Do you believe, though, that once that honeymoon period inevitably quietens down and there's a more forensic analysis of her record, do you worry that she is too far left in her record to actually avoid Trump stomping all over politically?
Not at all. I think that the idea that she's just like this progressive liberal who only sides with progressives and doesn't reach across the aisle is nonsense. I mean, she's been part of the Biden administration.
She was rated more left than Bernie Sanders.
I mean, I think that if we actually look at the policy on an individual level, that's not the case. Bernie Sanders is like for Medicare for all. Kamala Harris has never endorsed such system. So I think we actually have to look at the policy, and that tells a different story. But her record is certainly not a progressive one in the sense that it's like a Bernie Sanders kind of policy. She was a district attorney, a prosecutor. She sent people to jail. She's definitionally in favor of the rule of law.
She also wanted to defund the police. That's not great.
She's never come out and said, let's defund the police.
She effectively did.
Well, effectively and saying are two different things.
Flashback. It is inhumane to make people go through a system where they cannot literally receive the benefit of what medical science can offer. Because some insurance company has decided it doesn't meet their bottom line in terms of their profit motivation. That is inhumane.
Just to follow up on that, and correct me if I'm wrong, to reiterate, you support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care. And you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Trying to look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before. Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system, upending the system. And so that piece of it, you're right. Under this Attorney General, I have no hope for it being implemented. But God willing, he will be out of that office shortly. And then we need to have a requirement that that office do the right thing going forward.
So then if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong. Because, by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets. But what they do have, they have well-funded schools. What they do have is home ownership, high home ownership rates. What they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services. So this whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities.
Yeah, so that is Kamala Harris on record supporting defunding police and also co-sponsoring and supporting Medicare for All, which is Bernie Sanders' healthcare bill, in which Harry Sisson said on Piers Morgan's show that she never supported Bernie Sanders' healthcare bill. Now, again, here's the thing. I don't know if Harry just didn't know that because he's ignorant, okay? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just ignorant. But if he's ignorant, then why are you trying to get people to vote for somebody when you don't even know what policies they support, right? You're not even clear on the history of the policies that they have supported. You have no idea what they support, but yet you're trying to get people to vote for them, right? When you don't even know what she supports, right? It doesn't make sense, okay? It doesn't make sense, but this is what he's doing, okay? Now, he also could have known, and he could have just lied, right? Which also would be bad, right? You're just flat out lying about her record because, again, you're trying to promote her. But my point is that I don't understand how any of these people, whether it be Democrat Party influencers or the Democrats themselves, how do you have any credibility whatsoever after the past 3 or 4 years, right? The fact that Harry Sisson is sitting on Piers Morgan's show as if he's a credible voice, even for Gen Z, is just, it's ridiculous, right? I don't think that individuals like that should be platformed when they clearly either don't know what they're talking about or they're just blatantly lie on television about basic facts, right? And again, it's just very disturbing that any of these people, whether you're a sitting Democrat or a Democrat Party propagandist, whether you're in the media, these people have zero credibility. They will lie to you about anything, right? Anything, okay? And that is something that we've seen over the past 3 to 4 years. If they will lie to you about Joe Biden's mental state, then what else will they lie to you about? The unfortunate reality is that we have people in this country that are signing up and voting for a party that just openly lies to them, right? I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Because for these people to crack their lips and to say the things that they're saying to the American people, it means that they have to think that the American people are just stupid, right? You're just so dumb. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter if I piss on your leg and tell you that it's raining. You're still going to vote for us anyways, right? This is how the Democrats and their paid influencers think about the rest of the country. It's really sad. It really is. They really believe that, yeah, we could just lie to you and you're going to turn around and vote for us anyways. I mean, Joe Biden lied up until the last minute about whether or not he was dropping out. That same morning, you had people in the Biden administration going on television saying he's staying in for sure. He's not dropping out, just for him to drop out hours later. So again, what can you believe these people on, right? Like, you can't believe these people when they tell you anything. In fact, it's probably safe to assume that if they're talking, they're lying, right? Either that or they don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's just fascinating. It really is. And also, I find it to be fascinating how this is the second video that I've done in the past couple of days where you have a Democrat Party propagandist, like, for example, Rashard Richey. This dude didn't know that Kamala supported Medicare for all either. He had no clue. So you got all these people that are coming out here supporting Kamala, pretending like she's so amazing, but they don't even know her policies. Again, it's funny. This is why the Democrats don't want to make the election about policy, right? And you got all these people that are supporting her not knowing a damn thing about what she actually believes or what she wants to do. It's amazing. It really is. But it's also a shame because there are people that are going to vote for this. But I personally don't understand how anybody can line up and vote for a party that openly lies to you like this. It's really beyond me. But hey, at the end of the day, you know, unfortunately, we have people in this country that are brainwashed and that are just going to vote for this, even though they know for a fact these people think that they're stupid. It really is pretty sad. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.